Hey, condolences goes out to young Dolph and the family and everything, man. So look, guys, subscribe to the channel. We just got some breaking news update about how Straight Drop is actually Mia Jaye's cousin. So what everybody thought, the girl that everybody thought was actually young Dolph's girlfriend or baby mama or potentially engaged, that's not true, because the sources from Memphis are saying that young Dolph actually had a baby mama in Chicago who he got engaged to, potentially married to, 2 days before they hit him up in Memphis. Y'all gotta understand this, man. If Mia Jaye's cousin is Straight Drop, then that means they actually used him as a pawn to try to be a person who's gonna take the fall for this whole thing. That actually means Mia Jaye is part of the people who actually called the hit, guys. Oh man, this is crazy. Hey, like this video right now, guys. Comment down below too. I want you guys to put rest in peace, RIP to Dolph down in the comment section. Okay, so now moving forward into this, the sources is coming from Fable Gold. I mean, Fable Gold is the man who knew Dolph before any of the guys you see on TV right now that claim Dolph, okay? So he's the originator for who put the actual artist onto Dolph. Dolph wouldn't have signed Key Glock if it wasn't for Fable Gold. That's one thing you got to understand if you don't know that already. And the second thing is that white Corvette belongs to Blac Youngsta. You guys got to understand this. They had witnesses saying at the Church's Chicken that white Corvette was across the street. And tell me why the other witnesses like 007, who was at the Family Dollar, said she had seen Blac Youngsta with her own 2 eyes running across the yard from behind the Makedas cookies into the Family Dollar parking lot. They went across the parking lot, and one of the people went into 901 Trigger Trey's Ford Explorer. That was right there on scene. You guys could see this in all of the footage, man. I put this 6 months ago on my page with the videos from the witnesses right there at Family Dollar, right there at the laundromat and across the street. And the people from the Shell seen the white Corvette. So now get this. That white Corvette is the same one used in Snoop Band's music video where he's got the rain in the dark alley and it's night outside. That's that same Corvette. And what they ended up doing with that Corvette is they had to change the look at it. So they got it wrapped where half of it is black, half of it is white. It looks like a panda, like zebra type of wrap right now. And that's the same car, man. So why is it that CMG artists and PRE artists are using the same car that was seen basically at the crime scene of the whole Dolph incident, and not only by average Joe's driving it? I'm talking about young Dolph's one of his main ops, Blac Youngsta, the guy who tried to hit him up in Charlotte with 100 shots, but the car was a bulletproof truck, man. So this whole thing is screaming setup, is screaming they basically plotted on him. The girl that everybody thinks is his girlfriend, plus the fact that Mia Jaye even came out and was seen riding in that Lincoln. She came out that day on November 17th. She was driving on Airways, and that still photo shot from the security cameras, and that I think it was Onan posted, we zoomed in. Everybody thought it was a Bentley at first. Everybody thought it was a Bentley Bentayga. It's a 2021 that was bulletproof, fabricated from factory, right? But that's not the car, because we got the pixels removed and got it 4K rendered, and it ended up being a Lincoln Navigator. The same Lincoln Navigator that Mia Jaye was driving in the whole entourage for the funeral home when they went to the FedEx Forum to do the funeral there. So why is it that that same car is driving by in the security footage still shot of the intruders running out the parking lot with Dracos in their hand, and the other guy had a pistol? So you got to understand that if she's in that same frame as the intruders who were running in the parking lot, that's 100% that she had to have been involved. She was there only to watch and confirm that the hit was done, because there was money on the guy's head. There was money to be paid. So this is why all these people do it, man. You got to understand the money is the root of all evil. If you follow the money, and you can go and it's going to point you towards the corruption, okay? And so that's really what's going on, guys. And I know everybody's tuning in, watching at home, because there's justice for Dolph that's to be gotten. And it took 3 years for the Nipsey Hussle case. So we're going to be able to basically break this down and get to the bottom of everything until they actually go and settle all this stuff out. Because it's nobody in Memphis, let me tell you guys, even the guys on PRE were not 100% with Dolph. A lot of people were against him. Even the city of Memphis was against him. You got to understand, in 2012, there's proof and receipts that they actually stopped him in traffic, pulled him over. He did nothing wrong, but because he had a large sum of money on him, they seized it. It's called civil forfeiture. Look it up. They took $120,000 from him, and he had to go to court just to prove that that was his money. He got it legally and everything. He had to actually pull out the royalty statements from the group he does the distribution with for his music. So he had to pull out bank statements saying, this is how I got paid for these albums that I did, and that's how I end up being able to have a Rolls Royce and $100,000 in cash plus the jewelry. And so just because they stopped him and he's in Memphis, they're thinking he got that money from doing something else, something bad. But no, he ended up proving it to him. But here's where everything takes a turn. You know this, they hated on him because of the fact that they didn't give him back his full $120,000. They only gave him back $36,000. So they robbed him, basically. They robbed him. So if he's in a city where they had already robbed him legally on paper, then you can't rely on them to be the ones who get the justice for him. You have to understand that it's a lot of hands like that are playing in this whole situation, who they're the ones who are supposed to be helping find out what's going on, but they're a part of it. They're the ones who's supposed to be, getting the justice like his family. You would think Young Dolph's brother, who was there that day, would be, advocating, coming on TV, everything, trying to actually get the hitters, the hitmen. But that's not what's happening, because Young Dolph's brother hasn't been seen since the day Dolph passed, right there with his arm sticking out the window. Dolph's brother was taken into custody because he actually shot back at the intruders. And word saying that it was 3 intruders, not 2, 3 of them, because one of them ended up getting hit and ended up going into the ER, where he, ended up passing from his wounds too. So Dolph's brother was never seen. Everybody thought he was in witness protection, but that's not the case. He was the only person that would have actually told the truth of what went on that day inside that cookie shop. And they tried to tell all of you guys that he went in there just to buy cookies at 9 a.m. I don't buy that story at all. That doesn't make any type of sense. They're not even scheduled to be open till 10 a.m., guys. So if you look at all the actual facts, nothing has been actually, like, the right people haven't been caught for this yet. They have a couple chess pieces, some pawns, who got paid to be a crash test dummy. They tricked some of the guys like Straight Drop and Cornelius Smith. They tricked them. The guys who the news said were the ones who did it. They put their names in the headlines, right? That's where we all heard their names from. Those guys were only involved in because they agreed to come and do the hit to collect the money. But little do they know was that it was a whole entire plot behind it, where they were going to have somebody else do the hit. But those guys, because they signed off saying they would do it, they'd actually be the ones who get in trouble and get framed as being the hitmen. That way, they can fully cover all the corruption that they did. Because if they get the actual guys who did the hit, they're going to throw the book at him and tell him, you better tell us who told you to do this, or else you're going to be getting the chair. And that's basically how it goes. So they try to cheat the system by doing that. But that's what happens when they're in the city where they already turned against Dolph on the legal side. That's why he had to do everything by himself, basically. He couldn't trust any sort of company or agency or whatever, whether it's to protect him or handle his money or anything like that. So they had a vengeance on him, and they ended up working and cooperating with all the haters, like the groups CMG that hated Dolph, people within his own background, like his girl at the time, Jaye. And even though she comes on TV crying, but we found out what really happened and how they were shopping for caskets a week before the whole thing happened. And when that picture came out of somebody who's seen her in the mortuary with that, that's when you have to draw the dots together and come to the conclusion that people definitely had a hand in this that were supposed to be on his side. And so how many people are actually against him? So comment down below, like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you share this video and stick with me. I got a brand new update coming up tomorrow on the next video, so stay tuned. I'll see you there.